Yo, man, what's good, man? We back. It's kind of a different type of video. I think this kid is what Ryan's World. I think he's like a popular kid in Ryan's World. But yeah, man, it said Ryan something. Parents finally lost everything. I don't know what that means. Lost everything. We'll see what that means, man. Let's get into it. It's on the recommended, so let's get into it though.
Ryan Kaji's parents didn't just fumble the bag. They lit it on fire, served it as a side dish, and then asked for seconds. We're talking about Shion and Luan Kaji, the masterminds behind Ryan's World, who turned their toddler into a walking ATM and are now watching their empire crumble faster than a house of cards in a hurricane. And honestly, it's about time. So let me paint you a picture of how we got here. Back in 2015, these two decided their 3-year-old opening toy boxes was peak entertainment. Fast forward a few years, and Ryan becomes the highest paid YouTuber on the
Bro, look at that, bro. 1.1 billion, 2.2 billion. That is crazy. Back then, what was the other kid named Evan? Evan and his sister, his parents did the same thing with them, but they did it right though. Ryan, I'm pretty sure Ryan's really like feel like the newer generation though, I'm pretty sure.
planet, raking in over $20 million annually. Not bad for a kid who can barely tie his shoelaces, right? But here's where it gets interesting. While Ryan was busy being a human cash cow, his parents were busy being, well, his parents turned managers, turned exploiters, turned whatever you call people who profit off their child's childhood. And so the Kajis quit their actual jobs. Luan was a chemistry teacher, Shion was an engineer, to become full-time Ryan's World content farmers. They hired a 30-person production team, incorporated Sunlight Entertainment, and basically turned their house into a content factory with Ryan as the star employee. Except here's where the water gets murky, because Ryan wasn't necessarily in a position to negotiate contracts or ask for bathroom break. But that didn't matter to his parents because
contract, you could even ask for a bathroom break. See, I feel like when you kid and you doing stuff like that, yeah, it's cool. But then when it comes like your life, when it comes like this is like your job, I feel like as a kid, yeah, it might have fun, but then it's like at first it's fun, but then when the money starts rolling in, it's like nah. It's the same thing with Macaulay Culkin. He really didn't want to be an actor. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't want to be an actor. His dad was trying to be an actor, so he did put that through Macaulay Culkin, and his parents' dad, I think it was both of them, hated him just because he was successful in the acting industry. But I feel like Mickal could have been even better if his dad wasn't running the show. You know what I'm saying? It's just sometimes be your own people that hold you back to certain things, to certain blessings in life, man.
by 2019, Ryan's face was plastered on everything from Walmart toys to Colgate toothpaste. The kid had his own Macy's parade balloon as Red Titan. Not to mention, they built a billion-dollar brand on shoulders that were still growing. But even back then, people were side-eyeing this whole operation harder than a suspicious TikTok dance trend. Now, because of this, critics weren't just throwing shade. They were launching full solar eclipses. The FTC launched an investigation because apparently turning your living room into a 24/7 advertisement disguised as playtime raises some eyebrow. Who would have thought, right? And so consumer advocates accused them of deceiving millions of kids with ads that looked like regular content. It's almost like preschoolers can't tell the difference between Ryan loves this toy and Ryan's getting paid to love this toy. The family even had to rebrand.
So they're saying they're acting like he likes a toy, but just for money.
And from Ryan's Toys Review to Ryan's World to make it sound less commercial. That's like calling a casino a fun money adventure center. Same energy, different packaging. But the sponsored content kept flowing because apparently ethics don't pay the bills like overworking Ryan does. And speaking of that, let's talk numbers. Ryan was filming up to 25 segments every week across multiple channels. 25. That's more content than most adult YouTubers produce in months.
25 a week? What the? So that's kind of like his parents forcing him to do this. 25 a week? Doing this is cool. But as a kid, you want to be outside, you know what I'm saying? Getting dirty paws, you know what I'm saying? Like throwing the football around. But hey, 25 a week, bro? No bathroom breaks?
This kid was still
What?
learning multiplication table. Every aspect of his life became monetized entertainment. Family vlogs, science experiments, daily routines. The boy couldn't brush his teeth without it becoming content. And the worst part is that no laws protected Ryan's earnings the way they protect child actors in Hollywood. All that money legally belonged to mommy and daddy. So while Ryan was out here being the family breadwinner, his parents were the ones holding the bread and the butter and probably the entire grocery store. But karma doesn't forget addresses, and it definitely doesn't skip YouTube channels. Because fast forward to today, and the Kaji empire is collapsing harder than a Jenga tower in an earthquake. Remember when Ryan's World was pulling in over 1 billion views per video? Those days are deader than flip phones. New videos now struggle to break 100,000 views. We're talking about a 70% drop in viewership, which for a channel of this size, that's not a decline. That's a free fall with
also,
no
you
parity.
gotta realize them kids are getting older, bro. Them kids are getting older. Yes, it probably works. This probably works back then, 2015, when the kids are still kids and they seeing stuff like this. But so that's why some of the YouTube struggle to keep the audience, or even the older audience, because the videos they're doing back then that was younger. When once you grow up, you're not trying to see that. You're trying to you grow out of that stuff. You're not trying to see toys reviews and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Unless because remember, the new generation, they might not want to watch it. They might not want to watch stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They might be into something else. So that's why the new generation, you gotta find something that catches their eye, and then maybe. But if you're doing the same stuff you did 10 years ago, 2015, you know what I'm saying?
Now, the reasons are both obvious and satisfying. Ryan grew up, and so did his audience. The 5-year-olds who used to worship him.
I said it was 5. I told you, I said he grew up, they grew up. They're not gonna want to see the same content they did when he was younger. You know what I'm saying?
Are now preteens who think the same content his parents are forcing him to make is, well, cringe. Meanwhile, new toddlers aren't interested in watching a teenager pretend to be excited about toys. It's kind of like watching your older brother play with action figures. It's just awkward and uncomfortable for everyone involved. But wait, it gets even worse for Ryan's parents. YouTube has since changed its algorithm after the Copa crackdown, and suddenly channels featuring kids weren't getting the royal treatment anymore. The result, Luann herself admitted they lost 70% of their income practically overnight. Again, 70%. That's not a pay cut, that's financial amputation. And just when you thought Ryan's parents couldn't dig themselves a deeper hole, they decided to make a movie called Ryan's World, the movie. Titan Universe Adventure. Sounds epic, right? Yeah, no. This cinematic masterpiece managed to gross a whopping $624,000 against a $10 million budget. They lost nearly $9.5 million on what was essentially a
$10 million budget, and you damn, they would make $1 million from that. They make, oh my gosh,
very expensive home video. Theaters were emptier than a Logan Paul apology, and by the third weekend, indie films nobody had heard of were outgrossing Ryan's Hollywood debut. The movie flopped so hard you could hear the echo in empty theaters, and honestly, it's poetic justice that the project, which was seen as a quick money grab by Ryan's parents, ended up accelerating their downfall instead. Because here's where the story gets really dark. As Ryan started showing signs of being over the whole YouTube thing, appearing tired, reluctant, speaking in flat tones like he'd rather be literally anywhere else, his parents made a move that would make even the greediest stage parents blush. They started pushing his younger twin sisters, Emma and Kate, into the spotlight. The girls, who are only 7 years old, now have their own animation series and are increasingly featured in family content. It's like watching someone finish draining one well.
That just tells me their parents don't give a fuck about what the kids want, just forcing them. So just because the oldest one, that's what I'd be saying about these key videos, about when you keep on doing it. Yes, he probably a kid, he probably gonna like doing stuff like that. But once you get older, all that kid shit, toy reviews, come on now, bro. You're not gonna do that shit, bro. I feel like if he was able to make his own channel, do his own content where he knows what people really want to watch, I feel like he can be successful without his parents trying to force him to keep doing the same shit he was doing when he was 5, 6, and 7. You know what I'm saying?
and then immediately start digging another. The internet's reaction was absolute disgust. Comments like, Ryan made his parents $34 million and now they're exploiting his baby sisters, started flooding social media. And so the public opinion shift has been brutal and well deserved. People are finally seeing the Kajis for what they always were. Two adults who monetized their children's innocence and called it family content. The fact that multiple states have rushed to pass kidfluencer laws requiring parents to set aside earnings for their children is basically society admitting the Kaji model was exploitation all along. Even recent interviews with the family have been particularly telling. When Ryan appeared on a podcast,
and that's the only thing about stuff like this. When you see kids channel, they billion views is like, you just never know, bro. They can be having fun, but sometimes their parents is forcing them to do this shit. Yeah, he was making 25 like videos or whatever, what it was per week. Like, bro, what? You got to be exhausted to do stuff like that. I feel like you can do stuff like this, like, at least have your kids, have freedom and let them do what they want to do, not force them because you want to, like, come on, bro.
He was noticed how uncomfortable he looked, how little he spoke, and how his parents did most of the talking. Comments poured in predicting a future Netflix documentary about how his parents robbed him blind. People are literally counting down the years until Ryan turns 18 and can tell his real story. But as of now, the Kajis are desperately trying to keep their sinking ship afloat. They are recycling old footage of younger Ryan, using his face in thumbnails for videos he barely appears in, and pushing the twins harder than a Black Friday sale. But the writing's on the wall. By 2029 or 2030, when Ryan's 18 and the twins are 12, this whole operation will finally collapse under its own greed. And you know what? Good. The fall of Ryan's world isn't just karma, it's a cautionary tale about what happens when you build an empire on a child's back. The Kajis turned their son into the most famous kid on the internet, but in doing so, they also guaranteed their own downfall. They still have money, sure, they've got their Hawaiian mansion and product lines, but their golden goose is cooked, their reputation is in shambles, and their legacy will forever be those parents who used their kid for YouTube fame. The gravy train has officially derailed, and honestly, it couldn't have happened to more deserving people. So here's to Ryan Kaji. May he finally get the normal teenage years he deserves. And here's to his parents. May they enjoy watching their empire crumble from the mansion their son's childhood bought them. Sometimes the best revenge is just letting karma do its job. And in this case, karma's working overtime. But let me know in the comments what you think about.
Who knows, bro? Who really knows, bro? That's why when we seen like kids like this back then, when they're doing, yeah, they're probably like, but I feel like once you get that pre-teenage, it's like, you're not doing this corny ass shit. You think it's corny now because you're older and you're mature, you're trying to figure out who you are as a young person, going into a man or going into a woman, you know what I'm saying? But when you a kid, yeah, of course you gonna like that. You a kid, you're not gonna know anybody, you a kid. Once you get a little bit older, you do not do the same shit you was doing when you was 5, 6, 7 years old. You gotta figure out, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know what you think down below, man. We out, big.